Well, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Happy Saturday or whatever day you might be listening. It is my pleasure to welcome you back to the Bookcast, my platform for sharing short fiction and updates on what I'm reading and writing. This is the final episode of 2023. I have the final countdown running through my head for no real reason. This is episode 69. I actually thought it was episode 70, and I was like going to be happy about ending up on an even number. Shout out to Kay, the reader. But alas, it is only episode 69. My deepest apologies to Kay for ending up on an odd number, but it is divisible. So there's that. I am Dia White. I am the author of 13 contemporary Southern romantic fiction novels featuring Black men and women. I'm a fiction and fan fiction writer. I'm a big fan of coffee. I love brunch and the beach, and most especially a good book. I'm currently not writing a thing. I'm supposed to be writing an epilogue, but it's the holidays, so I'm taking a bitty break. My recent release, Home for the Holidays, a Powder Lake small town romance holiday novella, is that title long enough, is out in the world and being enjoyed by you, I hope. Pick it up at booksbydlwhite.com/home-for-holidays or books2read.com/home4holidays. All one word. If you have read it and loved it, please do drop a few lines at your favorite retail site, at Goodreads, the Storygraph, and your socials. I already love and appreciate you for it. Today's going to be a special show, so I won't go through the usual rundown, but I do want to mention that if you want to support this podcast outside of the comments and the shares and the harassments, if I haven't updated an episode, Raymond, you can do so at bookcast.buzzsprout.com. Thank you so much in advance for your support. Today, I want to do a little bit of a retrospective. I personally skip over year in review threads and posts. We don't need to rehash it, but along those same lines, I'm not going to relive my year here, but I do want to hit the highlights so I have something to measure against. So I'm going to chat about the podcast, the books I read, the books I wrote, super simple. And then I'm going to talk about my intentions for the upcoming year. All that will be coming up after the last book report of the year. I had to get up early and run the numbers because I wanted credit for everything I read through midnight Friday. After today, I might get in a couple of new books, and I don't know if I'm going to hold them for January 1 or pad my 2023 numbers. Honestly, I'm probably just going to hold them because I'm already way ahead for the year, and I'm like on an even number. So Kay, the reader, has this thing where she doesn't like the book count to be an odd number or a number that's not divisible. So if you are ending your year at 57, it's really bothering her. So I swear I'm not picking on her, but now I notice it. So I have a listener voice note, and I was most pleased to open my email to hear it. I'll share that after our coffee break. So today we will start with the book report as always, and then we will celebrate a great year. Today is Saturday, December 30th. It is 9:35 a.m. It is a cloudy day in Atlanta. I have a mic, and I am ready to dig in. But first, I think this is the fastest we have ever got to coffee. It's hot today. It's hot. So this week on the blog, I asked my audience to drop in with a voice note or a comment for this last show. I knew I should have done it earlier. I did not get very many responses, but I just could not get my mess together. I did receive one voice note, and I am so excited to have this voice on my podcast, if only for 90 seconds. I'll be back after the jump.
Hello, D.L. White. This is Robert Justice, and let me begin first by saying we love your podcast. To have a fellow writer speak honestly and openly about the writing life, and sometimes the best episodes are when you're just shooting from the hip. It is refreshing and helpful to all of us. So thank you for the work that you put into this podcast. My question is simple. It just has to do with genre. You are mostly known for your romance writing. And I'm wondering, do you see that long term? Are you a romance writer for life or a romance writer for now? Do you ever see yourself switching genres or becoming as prolific in other genres as you are with romance? All right. Thanks for all you do. Take care. Bye.
That was the voice of Robert Justice, who I love and adore. Robert Justice is an author, a podcast host, and an advocate for the wrongfully convicted. I thoroughly enjoyed They Can't Take Your Name, which is his debut novel, and I have got Dream in the Dark coming to us July 24th on my list of books that I am looking forward to. He also helms the anchor of the host of the Crime Writers of Color podcast, which is a never miss situation over here. As a big fan of crime fiction, the podcast, and the voice are a fave. Thank you so much for your kind words, Robert. In answer to your question, romance is my anchor. I don't see not ever doing romance, but I do hope to spread into maybe some romantic suspense at some point, maybe a romantic thriller. I've mentioned before, I have a PI character that I wrote into Dinner at Sam's and have a great backstory for Yvette and a bit of a storyline, but the idea that I have for her book isn't very suspenseful. So I'm still workshopping the idea. Like I don't know what to do with it, but it's not a suspense novel. It may just be like a regular old PI, like a romance novel with a PI character. I would like to do something different with it, and I would like to jump to something a little bit more edgy. I experimented with writing edgy characters with my fan fiction thriller-ish piece that I did in October called The Story of Kate. That was really fun, wildly different from romance, though it did have some love scenes in it. And I would love to do that in a form where I could get paid for it. It would require so much more work and research, and I'd rather not be filleted in reviews. So not off the plate at all, very much a possibility. I really just need to get the story planned out and just really like have the guts to start writing it and put it out there. I can't just sit down and write that genre. I need lots more planning. Thank you so much for your question. If you would like to offer up a comment, a question, a wish for the new year, I will leave that post up on my blog. You're able to just tap the button and record 90 seconds of a good word, or you can just send me a note. There's a form right on the blog page. Send it on through. I'll add that post to the show notes, and I will share your input in a future show. Let's roll on with the book report. We begin, as always, with the book report because I am a bookhead. If I'm going to do anything, I am going to read a book. Just an aside here, we're nearing the end of the year and people are talking about did they or did they not hit their Goodreads goal and what's their goal for the new year. And I just want to remind people, nobody else is counting. It does not matter. It doesn't matter who's reading 100 books. It doesn't matter who's reading 400 books. It doesn't matter who's reading 12 books. Did you put a book into your face? Did your ears enjoy some fiction, nonfiction, horror, fantasy, literary fiction? Did you read your face off this year? If yes, then you did a great job. It doesn't matter. I swear. Anyway, that said, I've read 184 books this year. I've actually read 185 books this year. I'm very excited about that. This was a really rough reading week. Not for like time or anything, but since it was the last week of reading for the year, I wanted the books I read to matter. And I didn't want to drag myself through a book. So picking my last book of the year has been so much drama. Actually, I think like I've tried several books yesterday, and books I would have just sat through earlier in the year. This week, I just can't do it. So I might just be done. I might just be done, and I might just be like catching up on shows until midnight tomorrow night because I'm tired of trying. 185, I'm good to go. This week I read 4 books. I read The Christmas Auction by Tay Russ. This is a sexy holiday story. This was really, really, really good. I am opposed to the idea of human auctions. As a Black American, I don't like the idea of buying and selling people. Setting that aside, this was a excellent story. Tay put her foot into this book. It's not that long at all, so you should definitely go pick it up and put it into your face if you're looking for like one last ditch effort at a Christmas story. I also listened to The Resemblance by Lauren Nossett. This is one of my holdovers from NetGalley audio arcs. This came out like a long time ago and I had it downloaded and I was cleaning out, my little NetGalley app. This was not good. I did not enjoy it. I dragged myself through it because it was an arc and I want to keep getting audio arcs, but I couldn't tell you what this book was about. Didn't enjoy it. I also read Party Favors by Chris Stevens. This is a New Year's Eve novelette. It is spicy. It is decadent. It is excellent. And you should go read it right now. But I'll wait. It's not very long. Just go read it and come back. I also read Snowfall over Serendipity by Stephanie Nicole Norris. This lady is such a delight. I can't keep up. I send her messages all the time. I cannot keep up. This was a great, great, great novel. It is set in Sweden. It's delicious. You should this one while you're reading Party Favors, just go ahead and pick up Snowfall over Serendipity by Stephanie Nicole Norris. It's a great read. This was like a last minute like Beyonce drop. I'm not mad at it. I am reading and don't know if I'm going to finish before the new year begins. I'm thinking The Law of Karma by Pamela Samuels Young. I don't know what I love Pamela and I don't know why I can't get back into this book. I'm so distracted by all the shiny, bow wrapped Christmas releases. I am going to get back into this, to finish, The Law of Karma by Pamela Samuels Young and The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson. This one has started off great, in audio. It's got, a great audio voice on it that I enjoy. Kathleen Early, she reads all of Karen Slaughter's novels. I'm a little bit lost and it's giving a little DNF-y, but I'm going to try to push through. I'm just going to put it on hold until after the new year. And I'm not like so stressed and not feeling like these last books of the year, they must matter. I'm just going to chill out for a minute and try to pick it back up in January. All right. So in a moment of truth and transparency, moving into my 2023 wrap up, if you posted a 2023 wrap up, a year in review with clips and photos, I haven't looked at it. One thing about me, I keep a podcast and reading, watching schedule. Like I know who posts when. I got my days all mapped out. Like Tuesday and Wednesday are big podcast listening days for me. So I try not to plan a whole much because I know like, especially on Wednesdays, I got to get up. I got to download the stacks because that's the first podcast I'm going to listen to on a Wednesday. And then I got to bounce through, all the ones that update on scheduled days. I haven't missed anything. I'm there. I was there, bruh. I want to celebrate the good stuff and link arms with you on where we're going in the future. So I invite listeners to do the same thing with me and the Bookcast. As I mentioned in the intro, we'll talk about the pod, the books I read, the books I wrote, what I'm looking forward to in the coming year. Spoiler alert, ain't nothing gonna change but my limp. More of the same with passion. Let's check out the numbers though. So I have something to compare to in 2024. Buzzsprout was so gracious to supply a little podcast Wrapped for 2023. So I pubbed 39 episodes in this year. I started regularly publishing in February of 23. I have reached 26 countries. I had a total of 1,746 downloads. Not bad for a niche author podcast that started because I didn't feel like doing a newsletter. Coming up in 2024 on the pod, I want to hit 100 episodes. We are at episode 69, so 31, I believe, episodes to Epi 100. Don't know what I'm doing for my 100th episode. Probably not anything special, just a regular episode, but it'll be episode 100. I've developed a really good routine and a schedule for planning and recording. I really like my process, so I don't have plans to change much behind the scenes. I want to streamline, make things much easier on the back end. I use Audacity to edit, but maybe I want to try GarageBand. I'm using Cast Magic for transcripts and helping me write all of my posts and pick up the chapters. I might, try Descript or something like that. I've already paid for Cast Magic, so I'll probably stick with it. But I like to try new things and see if I can make things a little bit easier for me. I also want to continue making the show more appealing visually and audioly. What word am I? I don't know what word goes here. I need an editor. I want to make it more appealing to a wider audience whenever possible. I want to gain enough subscribers and listen time to be eligible to run advertisements. And I want to build my listenership enough to make a private community necessary, a must-have, not a nice-to-have. Right now, it would just be another thing to manage. So how am I going to do that? No clue. No clue. So I've joined some communities to see how I can improve the Bookcast, get it in more ears and faces. I don't ever plan to have a video podcast, but we are, of course, up on YouTube podcast because a lot of people prefer to run their podcasts through YouTube. And I'm down with that. Most of all, I want to focus on the work that matters most. I'm going to stop doing stuff because I think I need to do it. I'm going to be doing the things the way I want to be doing them. And I don't think my audience cares one way or another so long as I'm having a good time. So enjoy the ride. My year in reading, I'm very excited to talk about this because I like numbers. Thanks to the Goodreads year in books for these stats. At the time of my prep, I have read 185 books. The average book length was 241 pages, which isn't bad. Contrary to popular belief, I don't mind a long book. 400, 500 pages, bring it as long as it doesn't drag. If it reads fast, I'm good. Just don't make it a long, rambling affair. I love an engaging thickum. My average rating for 2023 was 3.7. How I get 3.7 when we don't have partial stars at Goodreads, I don't know, but here we go. My highest rated book on my read list, this is not a plant, I swear, it's not a plant, Home for the Holidays by D.L. White. It only has 2 ratings, but they're both 5 stars, so the book has a 5-star rating. So I'll take it. That's sure to change, but I'll take it. MyYearInBooks.com is a program that an engineer wrote to give you more of a wrapped theme, but for books. So I plugged in my Goodreads URL and it said my top genres were mystery / thriller and romance, which is not a surprise at all. Those are my mains. My top author this year was Robert Dugoni. Not a surprise. I read 13 books by this author, making me in the top 5% of fans. Maybe, allegedly. My biggest reading month so far has been December, 19 books and counting. And lastly, my 5-star reads of this year were His Favorite Graves by Paul Cleave. I absolutely love Paul Cleave. It's so hard for me to read a book of his and it not be like a drooling complimentary word salad of good words about his books. Absolutely adore Paul Cleave. His Favorite Graves was excellent. The twists have twists. Just a Girl by Alyssa Cole. This was an Audible original. So good. Just very good. All the Sinners Bleed by S.A. Cosby. Of course, I love me some Sean Cosby. This was an excellent book. Her Deadly Game by my fave, Robert Dugoni. And Jane Doe Black by Nia Forrester. Those were all of my 5-star reads for 2023. If there was one way to describe my taste in books this year, it would be eclectic. And I'm all about it. So fun. My goal for 2024 is to keep it simple. I'm doing just the Goodreads goal, nothing extra. I'm always reading women. I'm always reading Black authors. I don't feel like I need to track them for 2024, so I'm not going to. I just want to keep it simple. The only metric I really want to track is to increase my reads of Black male authors. Next year, Dr. Raymond is doing his annual, like every year, I guess for like the past 2 years, he has picked an author to like focus on. And next year, his focus is James Baldwin. I have only read Beale Street, so I might try to jump in a few there. I find his writing to be thick. It's hard. I don't cancel me. I find Toni Morrison hard to read. I find Zora Neale Hurston hard to read. I find James Baldwin hard to read. I am not averse to them. it takes a lot of energy and concentration, and I need cliff notes to understand what they're talking about. I need some background. I need some information so I can go into this and know what they are talking about. I definitely can't read Zora without cliff notes. So, I might try to be scholarly and dig into some James Baldwin next year, which will help my Black male authors count for 2024. All right. Let's talk about my year in writing and how it was such a joy to get back to writing this year. I jumped back into the pool December of 2022 after 2 long years of burnout and writing nothing. So yearly, my goal is always 2 and a possible, 2 full length and a short, a fanfic, I don't know, a poem, whatever, but 2 and a possible is usually my annual goal. I don't like to get fancier than that because my brain cells can't handle too many conditions. 2 full length plus something else, a fanfic, a short, whatever else happens is gravy. This year I wrote and released Elysium, 65,000 words-ish. I would have to look it up for the exact numbers, but Elysium was about, I think it was more like 69,000, but we're going to say 65. Home for the Holidays was 37,000 words. I also wrote a fanfic novella titled The Story of Kate that was 53,000 words about a woman that suffers from erotomania, or the belief that a person, most times a celebrity, is in love with them. If you would like to read that, it's, my first venture into something that's not romance. It is also fan fiction. But if you like and know NSYNC and JC Chasez, you might enjoy it. Also, if you ever read All I Want to Do, which was like my fan fiction magnum opus, it was like my first really long novel length fan fiction story. It picks up where All I Want to Do leaves off, but I don't think it's necessary to read that to really get the gist of the story. Anyway, booksbydlwhite.com/freebies has a bunch of my fanfic stories formatted for ebook. So if you are interested, they are there. They're just for fun. It was loads of fun, and I'm looking forward to doing lots more of that. So I wrote approximately 155,000 words this year, from burnout to 155,000 words written in a year. That doesn't count blog posts. That doesn't count anything else that I might have written and put away. I call that success. I think that's a really, really good year for anybody, but especially for me. I remember back when I was on LiveJournal, we used to have an annual challenge to write 100,000 or more words a year. I remember trying to jump back in years later, after I left LiveJournal, and then I tried to come back, but it wasn't the same. And I cannot remember the name of the challenge, but, and I've thought about bringing it back, but I feel like that's just too much. Putting a number on it is just too much pressure. If I accidentally hit 100K words a year, I'm good with that. So it wouldn't be me though if I didn't have a couple sneaky goals. So let's see what I want 2024 to look like for Books by D.L. White. Of course, I begin with my 2 and a possible goal. That's where everything sits. I want to write The Pearl, and I want to start that around the end of January. I need a break after Home for the Holidays. I need to write that epilogue. I'm working on it, Jessica. I'm working on it. But in order to have a book I can push in the summer, I need to start it in January. This is what I learned from releasing Elysium too late in the year, right? So the goal is to be mostly done and do the final push during the 20K in 5 days March challenge with the Word Makers. Still I Rise will come in the fall, which always seems to be the perfect time for a Powder Lake book. I don't know why I don't write them with spring or summer themes, but Powder Lake books are fall books for me. I want to work on the romantic suspense-ish idea, or the PI romance novel. What are we calling that? There's a Sisters trilogy that pops up in my mind every so often. I really would like to get started on it. I do already have it planned out. It's just getting started is, getting started and actually writing it. That's the thing. And I, of course, want to write a few short fanfic pieces for challenges that we run at the archive. We'll see where I get with extra projects, but that's currently what's keeping me awake at night. I want to lean into writing what brings me joy. I don't want to drag myself through projects. This is not my job. I do this for fun and spending money. It, of course, needs to support itself, but I work a full-time job that pays like benefits and 401k and pension and whatnot. That's where all my energy goes. I save energy for writing. This should be fun. Want to force myself to relax. I want to be able to write shorter, more fun, less involved work. Not everything has to have like a big moral lesson. Not everything has to be 50,000 words. So, I would love to write some shorts and some serials. I would like to try Kindle Vella, but I don't like the idea. The exclusivity thing really chaps my hide. But I think like after your story is done in Vella, I think you can then release it wide. I need to confirm that. But if so, that could work. That could work. But I would really like to like do something serial. I think that would be fun. Publishing wise, I want to build up my sales so that Shopify and Book Vault are a necessity. Right now, I'm using PayHip and hand shipping books. Shopify is great. Like if you follow an author, they're probably using Shopify. If they're selling books direct, I'm using PayHip, which is fine. It's free. They take a percentage out the back end. Shopify is like $39 a month. And right now, my sales don't support a $39 hit to the cost column. It's super tempting though. It is super, super tempting. Shopify just runs a whole lot simpler than PayHip. You know, like I can afford the monthly hit, but I don't want to. Sales don't support an additional cost. So I would like to build up my sales to a point where Shopify makes sense. Book Vault is a spot where I could sell my books direct, but I don't have to have them here at the house. It would mean that I don't sell autographed copies anymore. But I'm looking at 2 stacks of books here that just sit here month after month. I'm going to run a paperback sale in January to try to get rid of these books in my house. And then I want to stop stocking books at home because I don't need them. And then like if you want an autographed copy, we can arrange that, especially if you're local. But I don't want to stock books at home anymore, I don't think. But that's probably a long ways off. I need sales to be able to support that. And I want to continue leveling up on my work. I've been using an editor for the last 2 books, which is much less frightening than I thought it would be. Full disclosure, I was not using an editor before. I had a beta that was intense and Pro Writing Aid. I had nightmares of getting my work back covered in red marks, but the relationship that I have with my current editor is more of a partnership. Let's us do what we can to make this pretty. So I really, appreciated being able to level up my work, present material that is error-free. If you find an error, they're all mine. And using pre-made pro covers and professional wrap covers for my print editions so that I'm proud for my books to stand next to those trad pub books that are out there. Audio remains a long ways off. I don't have the funds. AI narration is not a possibility for me. Not only am I opposed to it, but the voices don't sound right. I'm not charging readers for what they can get for free if Alexa reads it out loud. I toyed again with recording myself, but I wore myself out just recording 2 chapters of Home for the Holidays. So I don't think it's a possibility for me. If audio was affordable, it would definitely be an option, but it just isn't. I don't have the money. I would have to go into debt, and there's not any guarantee that I would earn out the cost of recording those. I want to continue to observe the markets and pull books from markets that aren't serving me. In 2024, I'm probably going to be pulling ebooks from Everand and pushing readers toward Kobo Plus because the subscription model is more beneficial to not only readers, but me as an author. I'm tempted to pull audio as well because they like to play games about what's available. All of my books are never available at the same time on Everand. Despite all of them being eligible, they're always available on Kobo Plus. If you are a member of Kobo Plus, all of my audiobooks are there. If you have the Read Plus Listen package, which I think is $11 a month, you can read or listen to all of my audiobooks. So it's like like I have Kindle Unlimited, but you only get audio included when that author is like signed to an Amazon imprint. That's the only time you get the ebook and the audiobook for the Kindle Unlimited price, which is well worth it for me because apparently I read a lot of authors who are on the Amazon imprint. But for your average reader, it's probably not worth it. But I feel like Kobo Plus is worth it. I actually canceled my Kobo Plus subscription because there's not any Black authors there. There's not really very many of us there. And until we build that up, I'm not reading or listening there. So I don't want to keep spending that money there. I want to continue selling direct first and then dropping to retail stores. That's working really well. Home for the Holidays had a really nice immediate push as a website exclusive. I think it was a website exclusive for like 3 or 4 days. I'm an impatient person, so I would really like to wait longer to put it up at retail this time of year. Once direct sales started slowing down, I got antsy and I wanted to put it up on Amazon at least because outside of direct, that's my largest retail platform. When people get readers as e-gifts, I want my books out there. I want my book easily available to add to your device for reading. So I have put that up at the retailers and it should be distributed to all of the major retailers: Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, slow down, DL, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Nook, the Kobo Reader, Google Play, Apple Books, should all be out there. Should also probably... Home for the Holidays, I did not put it on Everand, but it is on Kobo Plus. So it's out there. I want to continue participating in events like All Black Book Affair and Stuff Your E-Readers, although I have a tiny, tiny, tiny little rant. A tiny little rant. Come close. Come very, very close. Readers are getting entitled. The more often we do these, the more entitled readers are getting. And it's starting to tick me off. I saw a reader the other day on TikTok post something that said, I went to Stuff Your E-Reader and I was looking for free books and I was like, I don't want these. I guess she thought she was going to get free books by like Nora Roberts, J.D. Robb, Stephen King. What part of Stuff Your E-Reader tells you that you're going to actually get like free books from big authors? Like she thought she was going to get free books. She's like, this person was bragging that she got like 100 and some free books from Stuff Your E-Reader. And I was just reading through these and I don't want these. It took everything in me to just scroll right past. Listen, these are independently published authors putting their books out there for free for you to read. My book has been free for a month. That is over 1,000. I think I have given out like 1,200 copies of Hey Lover. That is 1,200 free books I have given out for readers to act entitled. I am tired of doing things because I think it would be a nice thing for readers to basically slap us in the face. I'm tired. Anyway, rant over. Outside of big events like that, I would love to do a few of those a year. They're really good for getting my books and my name out there. Once again, if you love my books, shout it from the rooftops. Word of mouth moves books. I'll do a few paid newsletters like eReader News Today, Free Booksy if I have a free book, Fussy Librarian I do all the time. I like to do that over running ads. Ads are a huge waste of money for me. Like I don't think Black readers respond to them at all, so I rarely do an ad. So I want to do like more of those. I wish there were a few of those throughout the year that I could participate in. And then we also have the Stuff Your Earbuds Day, which is like Stuff Your E-Reader, but for audiobooks. So those I participate in as well because it does help put my audiobooks into new ears. I am right now, because I have time, trying out shorts on TikTok and YouTube, posting like one a day. I might move up to 2 a day. I don't know. Just tracking the response to look at the numbers and see if that is doing anything. So far, my reach is very limited. I refuse to put my face on either platform because I just don't think anybody want to be looking at me. So I'm pretty limited. I want to let the books sell themselves. So I'm just trying to see what hits, what works. And then once I find something that works, just ride that pony. Most of all, I want to continue to keep burnout at bay by just reminding myself that author DL White is a part-time gig. Don't stress myself out about a few $100s a month. Have fun with it. Keep it simple. Just keep writing and keep helping other authors out as the opportunities to do so arise. I hope that was not a painful retrospective. I did want some hard numbers to measure against for the coming year. If I have supporters out there that want to partner with this podcast, I want everyone to see what we're aiming for. But I have a few personal intentions as well, some that I stole from Tiffany Alish with the Brown Ambition podcast. Their recent episode was on navigating burnout, which is an almost constant topic around here. I took so much from their December 29th episode. Pick it up at brownambitionpodcast.com. A few of her points that I took for myself. Number one, ask yourself, to what end? What are you working toward? What are you doing? And will the end result be worth the work that you're putting in? If no, put it down. Put it down. Turn Rizzoli and Isles back on. Watch yourself a little Hallmark movie. Open a book. Do anything else but that. To what end? Number two, give your body and your brain a break, or your body or your brain will do it for you. This includes the socials. Pick a day to disconnect and enjoy your break. I try to do that like Sunday morning. I get up and I update my bookish planner and I try to plan out my week and listen to an audiobook or a podcast and have some coffee and just like enjoy the day and try not to go into the week all stressed out about what is about to come up. When I'm off the pod, I don't miss it. I don't. And when I'm not writing, I don't miss it. I don't stress myself out about not writing. You will never see me on the socials talking about I should be writing, because if I should have been writing, I would be writing. I see so many authors beating themselves up about like not writing 24/7. It's honestly fine if you don't. It's fine. I don't miss it when I'm not writing. I come back to it when it's time. When it's time to write, I put my butt in the seat and I write words. I mean, most of the time, not always, but most of the time. But what I'm definitely not doing is sit around beating myself up about not writing. Never. I take long breaks. A lot of people don't know me very personally. I try to be an open book, but there's a whole lot about me that y'all don't know. Surprise, surprise. I am not a person that's able to be vulnerable. I can't do it. I can't. It's just me. I like my walls. I can't afford to let them down. Standing in that has been a challenge for me recently. I see a lot of people like, I want to live a soft life and I want to give everything over to someone. I want to be in a position where I don't have to think. That is not me. Not me. So I want to keep reminding myself that nobody cares about me like I care about me. I can't put my mental health and well-being in the hands of anybody else. Number 4, I have a little corner of debt, not even really debt, but a bit I need to pay off in 2024. I want to do a clean sweep of things I'm paying for so I can live the quote unquote soft life and enjoy myself. Do I need all of that? If yes, rock on. If not, we need to drop it. Of course, I'm going to celebrate my 50th in 2024. I'm probably going to move my trip to the summer. I think March is much too early to lay out a lot of money on something extravagant. So a lot of people from my job will be attending the Summer Olympics in Paris, which I'm not going, but I think it's a perfect time to plan a personal trip because there will be nobody in the building. So I'm very excited about that. I don't want to break my back so that others can be okay. If others would let me drown so their face can see the sun, I don't want that person or connection anywhere in my sphere. I don't want them influencing me. I don't want them looking at me. I don't want to know they exist. Stop breaking your back so that others can be okay. Number 7, I'm really good at relaxing. I'm really good at it. I am not so good at not calling myself lazy for relaxing or taking a break. I do a lot. I work hard. I do a great job. I write books. I publish myself. I produce this podcast. I do all my own self-promo, everything. Honestly, I get up. I spend hours on book stuff. And then I relax. I make myself available when people ask for my wisdom. I deserve every bit of rest that I take. And reminding myself that I deserve the rest that I take is hard because I am good at calling myself lazy. I'm really good at it. And Robin Bradford, my favorite Twitter librarian, recommended a book to me, something about you're not lazy, something. And I read it, and the people in that book aren't lazy. But sometimes I'm just I always feel like I could do more. And so then I try to do more, but then moving back to number 1, to what end? Putting forth a lot of effort, like doing more with no return is wasted time, wasted energy, wasted effort. Stop it. Stop. Number 8, acknowledge and celebrate. When a book does well, let's acknowledge and celebrate it. I don't celebrate my book releases. I'm just too busy. By the time the book comes out, I'm tired of these people. I don't want to look at this blurb anymore, but I have retail sites I got to upload. I got to update all author and BookBub so the new release email goes out, and then I got to send out a newsletter, and then I had to do a blog post and a sample Sunday and get my promo together, and I pick out tweets and, make little promo posts and get in Twitter and Instagram and TikTok and engage and encourage people. I'd sell, market. I'm not done when the book releases. Release day is not the end of anything. Release day is smack in the middle of the process. But I gotta set aside a time to celebrate an accomplishment. Every time I tell someone I write books, I get, I always wanted to write a book. You should do it. You should do it. It's a thing that everybody wants to do, but few people. Of the millions of authors we have out there, few people who want to write a book actually write one and release it and do it again and again and again 13 times. I'm starting book number 14 in January. If you would have told 2014 me that I would have 14 books out in 2023, 2024, I would have probably said you were lying. Ain't no way. Because when I published my debut, I had no idea what I was going to do past that book. It was after that book release where I was like, well, I guess I need a backlist. So I guess I should publish another book, I guess. I don't know. Lastly, ask for help. I am the queen of not asking for help. I got it. I'd rather do it myself. There's a saying, if you want to do it fast, do it yourself. And that's me. I want it done fast. I want it done right. I'll just do it. But if you want to go far, ask for help. So I need to seek wise counsel. I don't take advice from just anybody. Do you know what you're doing? Do you know what you're talking about? Dig into info that's going to push my books and my podcast and me as a person forward. I have learned from my Gallup/Clifton strengths that, my number 1 strength is intellection. My number 2 is input. I am all about information. So if I'm going to do something, I'm going to be looking up a podcast on how to do this and how to do that and how to be better at another. So not worried about that at all, but for 2024, definitely want to level up, seeking help, asking for help, putting myself in a position not to be vulnerable, because we don't do vulnerability over here, but to open myself up to people who know more than me, who are smarter than me, who are better at it than me, so I can figure out what is going to work for me. So there we are. A little look back at 2023, a little look forward at 2024. Hopefully I have not made things difficult for myself by setting out a bunch of things I can't live up to. I think everything is doable. Everything is possible. Everything is, something I can really put my arms around. I am hoping for a great 2024. It's going to be a really, really good year. That brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you so much for joining me, not only for today's chat, but for all of our chats this year. The Bookcast is written and produced by me, D.L. White. This is an independent Black woman-owned and run podcast. So as I mentioned before, I appreciate everyone who offers their support of this work, whether you are a listener, a monetary supporter, a person that always, retweets or replies to the comments. I see you. I love you. Thank you so much for being here. If you are a silent supporter, I love you too. I will be back next week for the first show of the year. Until then, please enjoy this weekend. Have a very festive New Year's Eve. A happy, happy New Year. We'll chat again next weekend. Bye-bye.